Hey, phony homies, it's week 12, and on today's show, we discuss this past week's injuries, who to add, who to drop, and so much more. Are you ready? Let's go. Hello and welcome to another fantastic episode of the Fake Football Guy Show. I'm your host, Giancarlo Campos, and alongside me is the greatest co-host of all time, Dustin DL Lingelman. What's up, DL?
What's up, my guy?
Not much, man. Another day, another dollar. You know how it goes.
Oh, speaking of dollars, yeah, man. It's been pretty interesting. I would say 48 hours.
Oh,
40,
do tell.
48 hours. So I guess we'll just jump into that right away. Over the weekend, we were actually picked up by a new network, and it is called Ohio Sports, or I'm sorry, yeah, Old School Sports Media Network. They're out of Ohio. That's why I get mixed up. So yeah, you can find us there along with some other great podcasts, if you will. Which yeah, I'm just excited. We got somebody who's helping us just like grow our channel and making sure that everybody is out there, and getting to know exactly, some other streams to take a look at. I'm going to share my screen real quick just so y'all know. So we got Ohio, right? Oh my gosh, I gotta quit saying that. Old School Sports Media. So we got we are ND Nation, which they super hyper focus on Notre Dame. Idiot's Guide to Sports Fandom, which is it covers all sports, right? Not just one, and kind of showing you the rope. Of course, yours truly, me and JC, hitting it up with the fantasy football, and then Combs and Fitz is Windy Sports Talk, which is obviously all about Chicago sports. So we're really excited about the opportunities. I didn't tell JC this because we were trying to get the show going, but we will actually be doing some live remotes as well too at different bars in the area. So if you're excited or if you're a fan of ours, you want to come check us out, we'll have the details as they come up. But we will be going live at like different bars around the Chicagoland area. Probably we've been talking about like on Sundays, maybe after the Bears game, so you can get our first take, if you will, and to kind of prep you for the later games for fantasy football, especially like let's say you got rocked in the first early games, and now you're like, what do I do? Should I pivot? Should I feel confident? What are your thoughts? So more to come on that. Obviously, I'm literally dropping this live to JC, so he had no idea I was going to talk about this, but. Nonetheless, guys, really, really excited about our channel growing. Really, really excited about to be a part of Old School Sports Media. Be sure to check out their page on Facebook, on Twitter, and all of that is fun. All that stuff as well too. So, without further ado, JC, let's remind the folks where to find us. Man,
Time out, you motherfucker. There's going to be live remotes.
Live remotes. Yeah.
More awesome. Can't wait.
Yeah.
And can we give a shout out to the individual that's helping push us to the next level? Evan Thomas.
Evan J. Thomas.
Evan J. Thomas. My apologies. Shout out to Evan for hooking us up, shouting us out, and allowing us to be part of his prestigious network.
Yeah, it's awesome. And I'm really excited to watch this grow. There's some bitter bobbies.
I can guess.
That gave me a congratulations and then was like, well, did you tell him about us? And I was like, listen, man, if you suck, you suck. I'm sorry. No, just kidding. They don't suck. But nonetheless, it's just cool, man. It's cool to have, once again, someone to help us out to grow our channel. Those sports or those other shows that we were speaking of, they're amazing.
They are really good.
I know Combs and Fitz have even invited us on their show a couple times. Just couldn't get the scheduling right, but I'm really glad that we're a part of that roster with them, and they know their stuff. So happy to be part of the Old School Sports Media fam.
That's right. That's right. All right, DL, let's pay some bills. Let's remind
Right.
the funny homies at home, DL, if they want to follow us on Twitter, where we're live right now, actually, DL, where can they do that?
Tweet FFG.
Pretty simple, pretty easy. Let's jump over to the hashtag. We always want to get trending. If you have questions Sunday morning, you're like, who should I start? Do I start Jalen Waddle this week, or do I
Got a
start Cedric
story.
Tillman? I don't know what to do. Well, DL, what is that hashtag?
Ask us FFG.
That's right. We constantly look it up, see who's asking questions, and we jump on and we ask you those. We answer those questions for you. Marital advice. You want to know what's going on, why your back hurts when you sleep too long. We'll tell you all these things. We can help you.
What kids?
And we have a
Tony?
resident. That's right. We have a resident doctor as well, and we can ask these questions too. Keep that in mind. All right, DL. If people want to use emails instead, if they want to send us over questions, voice notes, pictures of things, which we'll look at.
Did you mean pictures?
They can send over. I have a question actually. I was thinking about starting a calendar. Maybe we could do like a funny calendar, you and I. That would be hilarious.
Oh, I like that. Then we could sell it to buy her a beer. Okay, but if you want to send those pics over, tasteful ones, you can send it over to askusffg@gmail.com.
Yeah, you see, there's a trend here. And DL, if people want to leave us fantasy voicemails or you want to call and ask any questions at all live on air, DL, what's that phone number?
Super simple. Area code 708-655-4508. That is JC's personal number. Be sure to blow it up. I say it every week. But I've yet to have JC call me a SOB and say, stop telling them to send me dick pics. So send him any pics you want.
All right. That's right. We're probably like 70 shows in now and I haven't said a word to you. So
yeah,
it's fine.
Come on, guys. Come on, phony homies. Help a brother out.
We'll let it ride. We'll let it ride. Anyway, funny homies, please be sure to like, share, subscribe, and
smash
the notification button. That way you know when we go live. Right now, I'm getting text messages from a family member and my brother saying, hey, I see you're live. Got some questions. So cannot wait.
Great.
We are on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and anywhere that you listen to your podcast, like Spotify.
Yeah, it's awesome. And we're on the old school, the new channel that we're on, Old School Sports. So guaranteeing that you'll probably see our videos up on there as too if you're not watching us live, so you can catch up. But the ones that are live, you're in luck because we got a jam-packed show for you. And we're going to go over some really sick stuff that happened to us, right? So I'm going to start it off. I'm going to ask you, JC, how'd your week go? Because I got some good stories.
I'm doing well, man. I did. I only lost in one league this week, so I won in 6 other leagues, which is fucking awesome. And I continue marching in your league. I think I'm on like a 3-game win streak, and I'm still alive somehow in your league, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So I don't know how I'm pulling it, but I'm making magic happen. Anyway, some of my studs this past week that helped me get to these 6 wins with that 1 loss. The first guy I'm going to go ahead and mention is Cooper Kupp, who finished with 6 receptions and a total of 106 receiving yards and 2 touchdowns. He looks so good. And it was awesome having him and Puka Nacua in the field together, which we'll get into in a little bit. But it really opened up the offense, and I like what I'm seeing from those LA Rams. DL, who's your stud?
Oh, man. So I got a story time, right? I don't know if you've been paying attention to our social media, but I threw this out here, and then I got made fun of a little bit. However, all right. So last week, Kyler Murray was on a bye, right? So I had to pivot. 14-man league, right? So slim pickings. But however, Bo Nix was there. And I was like, it's either him or no one. It's like literally it was just him. Like everyone else was Daniel Jones or I don't know. Daniel Jones was on bye. I don't know. Anyways, long story longer, started him, right? So I took our own advice. I was like, you know what? I can't really tell people to do it if I don't do it myself. And boy, was I surprised because the boy got me 4 touchdowns, 307 passing yards, 5 rushing yards, bro. 5. I destroyed. This is my 14-man league. Like, I beat my opponent by, I want to say, a good 40 points. 40 points. It's a standard league. So that's saying a lot, right? Other story I had, right? So, okay, so buckle in. So recently I traded for George Kittle, right? So I have George Kittle and I have Zach Ertz. So on Thursday night, I was like, no problem. I'm starting Kittle. There's no issue. He's questionable, but everyone's like pointing like, oh, he'll play, right? News broke on Friday that or was it Friday or Saturday? One of the 2 days that it's unlikely that he's going to play. I was like, shit. So I grabbed another tight end. I grabbed Dawson Knox. And I was like, yeah, Dawson Knox, because there's nobody in Buffalo, and it's gonna be great and blah blah blah, right?
And Cade was out, and that's right.
Just wait, gets better. Literally about to watch the Bears game with my in-laws at a bar. I had to take a pee. And I was looking at it, and I was like, man, I just don't feel right about Dawson Knox. Who else is out there? Just looking. And then I saw Juno.
Yeah, he's been in the league for a minute. Yeah, Jonnu Smith, maybe freak athlete.
So I grabbed him literally at 11:59, plugged him in. Thank the good Lord, because he won me my week. The dude went off 2 receiving touchdowns, 101 yards, 6 receptions. Right, dude was a beast. He got 20 in PPR league, mind you. So I think he got me 29 points.
Wow.
Bo Nix got me 40 points in a standard league. So, bro. And I was playing one of my good friends. His name is Ben. And every year I sweep him. And he's like, oh, I'm going to get you. Ha, ha, ha. You're an idiot. You should play Zach Ertz. So I took that personally. And
Chill, Michael.
It's just listen, motherfucker. You don't know who you're messing with. So anyways.
Awesome.
Solid week. Still in second place. Our actual league in itself, and I was about to pull this up real quick. Overall, it is so tight, bro. It is tighter than.
Hey, what?
Well, yeah, we're on a network now, so we can't really.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Get too crazy with it. So let me pull this up. Go ahead and share. Maybe the network will get us someone to actually do all this. I don't have to. So here we are, right? Ooh,
look who jumped out of last place.
Ooh, the Wombat. He has secured his playoff spot. That son of a gun. Good thing he auto-draft his team. Yeah, he auto-draft. And he's been talking major game, oh, beating all you guys, and you have your own channel, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I don't know why you're boasting about a computer picking your team, and that's how you're winning. Anywho, let's look at the real competitors. We got me in number 2. And yes, JC, if you guys remember last week, was right about here. 9th. Jumped up to 7th. He's literally 1 spot away from the playoffs. We send 6 teams to our playoffs. So yeah, man, that's what else I wanted to kind of talk about, some do's and don'ts and getting ready for those playoffs, because you got to look ahead, because if you make it in and then in week 15 or week 16, you're going up against a really hard team. I'm talking not your opponent, but let's say, I don't know, the Denver Broncos defense or, what have you. You could be one and done, and we want to avoid that. So it's looking good so far. We're going to continue to kind of share that. The only duds I had for this week, I would say Deebo Samuels. I did start Juno Smith, or what the fuck? I can't remember his name. Anyways, Deebo was a dud, 22 yards, and he actually got a negative rushing yard, so that sucked. And my brother made fun of me for this because I posted the picture of Bo Nix going off, and right below Bo Nix was Mike freaking Williams.
Well, what'd he do?
It's nothing, not a damn motherfucker. He's like, you're not going to talk about that? Why did you recommend Mike Williams? I'm like, actually, we didn't. That was my fault. I was like, yeah, why not? No, 0. I'm telling you, that league is sparse, bro. So thank God we're out of that bye week. This week, everyone's back. However, we got the bye apocalypse coming next week.
Here. Yeah, it's here.
Right before you make the playoffs.
Yep, I know. I'll give you my duds. This past week, KJ Hawkinson had 2 receptions for a total of 13 yards. That's my first dud. My second dud, Rico Dowdle, had a whopping 28 rushing yards this past week. I will say CeeDee Lamb looked good. So just to put a cap on our last week's conversation about CeeDee Lamb, I think he's going to be a high-end wide receiver 2 with low-end wide receiver 1 upside. So they're feeding the hell out of him. Yeah, they're feeding the hell out of him, which I love to see. I have one more dud for you.
Oh,
did you?
Sorry. Go ahead. I benched him last week because I was like, Go ahead. Sorry.
One more dud for you. Mike Tyson is my dud. Did you watch that fight? I'm sorry. Did you watch it?
I mean, I tried, but it kept buffering, and then
Yeah.
it was like watching Techno Bowl. Remember Techno Bowl with the 8-bit?
Oh yeah. Oh
It's
yeah.
just like, what's going on, dude? That was fixed, bro.
Bro, he got spanked, bro. Something was wrong with his legs. He couldn't move. It looked like he was stuck in concrete.
No. If you saw on TikTok, bro, you can see it. Like they're fighting. At one point,
Like reaches in and talks.
Jake grabs him, locks up with him, whispers something in his ear, and then all of a sudden, because round one, Mike was looking like he gonna fuck this dude up, and then after that, all of a sudden you see Mike, and there was one time where Mike Tyson's like literally seeing the punch coming. Let me remind you, Mike Tyson. I get it, he's older, maybe not as quick, maybe not as fast, but he still understands boxing. He's watching this punch go in his face. It's like this. I think it was fixed. I think Mike Tyson got a payout. I think Jake. I mean, it worked. Everybody tuned in. That's why Netflix was like buffering, but it did make me pause and get concerned. Christmas, right? Guess where the games are going to be on?
Oh yeah, Netflix. That's right.
Netflix.
Wild card games, right?
Wild card, yes.
Yeah.
So I'm really hoping
they gotta get their shit together. Yeah, they couldn't handle the traffic. Yeah.
Because I mean, yes, the fight was like promoted throughout, right? So like everybody was just like dying for this fight, but like you piss off these football fans, shit.
Well, it'll be a problem.
Oh, it's gonna be bad.
Big problem.
Oh, it's gonna be bad.
Big problem. Anyway, yeah.
Yes. Get into the
Let's
news.
go ahead. Yeah, and jump over to the news.
All right. We got to work on that. We got to get graphic for news. That's kind of fun. Are you drinking a Rolling Rock?
Yeah.
Bro, I haven't had a Rolling Rock in like 10
It's one of my favorite beers. Like, it's probably my favorite beer of like cheap beers. Just to prove it to you.
Rolling Rock was the first beer that I actually started enjoying when I started out on my my beer journey. So I salute you, sir.
Well, for me, my brother and I, when we first were having our first like real beers, Rolling Rock, we would get 30 racks for like $16. Oh,
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah, in college you could play beer pong all night with your Rolling Rocks. Good stuff. Love them.
Yeah.
We don't like water.
And PBR. Don't forget PBR. Okay, let's start off with the news. This came in this morning. Jets fire general manager Joe Douglas after more than 5 seasons with the franchise. So, I mean, they are just, I don't know if Aaron Rodgers, I won't say he has anything to do with that, but they are cleaning fucking house, and it's still, they still suck. So I feel bad for them because it's kind of like us, right? It's kind of like us. Next, this came across too. The Giants will be benching Daniel Jones for the rest of the season. So get ready to fire up Tommy DeVito.
Hey.
Mafioso,
baby.
Hey. Ooh, hold on. We got some funny homies chiming in. Brian MGD. Is an MGD guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he stole a 40 from a guy.
Hell yeah.
That's awesome, Brian. Thanks for tuning in and dropping that knowledge. Right. I did not know you stole something, Brian. Tis, right. Buddy. So here's my question, right? Getting back to this, right? So I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to tank, right? Because why else would you bench? I mean, I can understand. There's many reasons why you would bench Daniel Jones. However, you got Drew Luck because you thought you guys were like honestly gonna like go for it, right? Am I wrong? Like just in case Daniel Jones got hurt, you got a guy that you felt you could plug and play. So this, I feel bad for Drew Luck. I really do. Because he's probably been doing the reps, doing what he's looking for it. And like he's probably trying to get on another team, right? Like no one wants to be the backup. And now you got Tommy DeVito.
Hey.
What was it? Tommy Cutlets? Tommy Cutlets. He's on there. So full tank's on.
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun to watch them. But
no. I hope
I liked his story last year. I liked it. It was cool. Is he a local product too? Where's he from? Tommy DeVito.
Did you look it up?
I'll tell you in 2 seconds.
Yeah, not only that, Jones is third string. That's what I'm saying, man.
All right, it says Tommy DeVito grew up in Cedar Grove, which is just located 10 miles outside of MetLife Stadium. He's from New York, Jersey kid.
Yeah, No, remember that was the whole thing. He was like living, like last year, he was living with his parents. His mom was like, that's why they call him Tommy Cutlets, because his mom was making him like lunches and like sandwiches and stuff.
How much worse can DeVito be than Danny Dimes? How much worse?
I don't know. He actually, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I was a fan. I thought it was awesome. He did stuff. I'm just worried, dude. He did stuff.
I love it.
I honestly traded for Neighbors. So I was like, hell yeah, I got Neighbors, Chase, Jamar Chase, and Nico Collins. I was like, oh, I'm about to blow this mother. I'm burning the fucker down, right? And now I'm like, oh, cool. Nico Collins goes out. All right, I got Neighbors. Neighbors has horrible games. And now all of a sudden it's like I get the trifecta back. Well, not this week because the Bengals are on a fucking bye. And yeah.
All right, let's talk about DeVito. He started 6 games last year. He in his first game, November 5th last year, he was 15 of 20 for 175 yards, 2 interceptions and a touchdown. Another game, the game that followed that, he had 86 total passing yards. Game after that, 246. Game after that, 191. Game after that, 158. Game after that, 177. So let's call it what it is. Game manager. They're not going to ask him to do a lot. He'll probably get anywhere between 15 to 20 pass attempts. No, let's up it. 17 to 22 pass attempts a game, depending on game script. No interest in Tommy DeVito fantasy wise. Can he sustain Malik Neighbors? I think Malik Neighbors immediately becomes a I don't know, wide receiver 3.
I traded Connors away from him.
James Conner.
Anyways,
Terminator, James Conner.
So Rob 1212 thinks he's in the mafia, which that kind of makes sense if you think about it. Like, it's like,
what's up, Rob?
Thanks, Rob. Thanks for the comments. Like, hey man, you better put my boy in. And then, fan. Skip one. Sorry, my bad. Mike McCaskey sold DeVito as a top star in the league. Okay. And we got Rob. Thanks, guys. Thanks for chiming in. This always makes the show that much better. So
his fucking agent. Have you seen this guy?
Dude, yeah, with the fedora. With the freaking fedora, man. It's so...
He looks like he's a fucking wise guy.
Bro, that's... Okay, so at least we'll be entertained. I mean, at least this is like, look over here. Pay no attention to the man. Pay no attention to the fact that we signed Daniel Jones to extension. He gave up Saquon Barkley, who is now destroying our whole division. We got Tommy DeVito.
All right, that's what I feel like. This image of the agent. I had to find this on an Italian website, just so you know.
Okay, no music, right?
Marca, no.
We can't get in trouble for that. Okay, just fine. Here he is, guys.
Look at this guy, eh?
Dude, you can't make that up.
Couldn't the deal, eh?
You honestly like
ridiculous,
bro. The hat. And like the pinstripe freaking suit. Like
he's whacking somebody. He's making the call, bro. Whack a guy.
Bro, he looks like, honestly, like it looks like cosplay. It's like, you know, if there was a convention, right? And it was a Godfather convention.
You gotta shave some points off this.
Or like like a really bad B movie, right? Like one of those like really bad Italians, like, oh, okay, let's get a Italian guy.
This is a Lost Soprano member right here.
Okay, it looks like did Rob send you that picture?
No, I found it, but he's right. Rob's right. The guy looks ridiculous.
It was like, check your Facebook. Okay, cool.
Anyways, check it right now. Hey, he's following us. He's here. He's watching.
Appreciate you, Rob. Buddy.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
Not done yet. Isaiah Pacheco, which we've been mentioning last week, is off of IR. And there's rumors he may play this week, which sucks for me or sucks for most people that have Kareem Hunt. So, and now we're past the deadline, boys. We can't trade. You're not going to get, even if you could, not going to get any value. So pay attention to today's episode because there's a lot of stuff. Speaking of which,
a lot of stuff.
Stuff's the new word. Should we get the docket?
Yeah, I think there's a knock at the door. I think the doc is on its way. Ton to talk about still. tons of waiver wire ads. We can't wait to go over some of these wide receivers. I think there's some surprising names and some guys at quarterback that we've been mentioning for a few weeks now. But before we do that, it's time to get to injuries. Hey, welcome back, funny homies. The Doc is in the house. He's walking in. There he is, the man, the myth, the legend. Doc, welcome back. I hear you're done with the Diddy trial. You were out of it. No, oh, shit. Well, sorry about that.
There's an emergency session today. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, look, we got you here for the alibi. You were here with us doing the show. We have proof.
That's right, bitches.
We got you. We might not pay you for a few months, but
it's all right. I got you guys a lot of lube. So
impact injuries, Doc. What you got?
Not a lot. I actually been. I was able to take it easy this week. There wasn't that many injuries. The biggest one I would have to say was the Jacksonville Jaguars, who are already pretty beat up. Got some devastating news about their wide receiver Gabe Davis. He had a meniscus tear. The head coach Doug Pearson told reporters on Monday that Davis will miss the rest of the season due to this torn meniscus. Fellow Jag wideout Christian Kirk is already out for the year due to a broken collarbone. So, and their quarterback's out too. So it's like a dumpster fire in Jacksonville. So, good news, right? We got Isaiah Pacheco coming back. So guys who've been kind of hiding him on the IR, or if you had him on your IR, get ready to fire him up and could help you out. Honestly, that was there was other injuries. Obviously it's football. It's not like, it's only one guy. But
no, there's a few other ones, Doc. I don't know if
did I miss them? Did I miss them?
Yeah, there's some right there. Should be there, Doc. Trevor Lawrence. I'm not sure if you got a chance to see it. Trevor Lawrence missed the last two games.
Looking at the other.
No, you're good, Doc. You wrote this, so yeah, it's your script. I'm just living in it here.
I did. We talked about Trevor Lawrence last week. But anyways, he has missed the last two games with a shoulder injury, and Jackson's on the bye for the upcoming weeks. Lawrence will be available for Week 13 against the Houston Texans, so that's good, especially if you have running backs. The team will provide more information once they resume practice. Should Lawrence continue to miss time, Mac Jones would continue to serve as his replacement. It kind of sucks. Terrible. Jones has thrown for 249 yards with 0 touchdowns and three interceptions on the past 2 weeks. Avoid. Do not. Just just leave him alone. Maybe somebody, because it is a heavy bye week, right? We have a lot of teams on bye. We got, let me look it up. But there's a lot of people who are pivoting. So the reason why I'm bringing this up is simply because someone might drop one of the Jacksonville Jaguars, right? So we have Atlanta Falcons who are on bye, Buffalo Bills, the Bengals, the Jags, thank the good Lord, and the Saints and the Jets. So that's a lot of teams. Some of them have some really great talent, right? No Jamar Chase, no Burrow this week. No Christian Kirk, no Mooney, who he had an injury, but he came back, so nothing to get too upset about.
Yeah. No Christian Kirk.
No Christian Kirk. Yeah, well, obviously. And the Saints, right? So no Alvin Kamara, no Taysom Hill. And the Jets, I mean, whatever. If you're still rolling them out, maybe you'll win this week. Anyways, that's all I got. That was it.
Oh, there's a few others. Amir White.
What?
Madison.
Like I said, I talked about relevant players. Anyways, now we'll talk about them. So we got, both Madison and Zamir White are out. It appears that White got a re-injury from week 9 with his quad. I strained that bad boy. Trying to see what else is here. I'm missing it. Okay. And the other guy got a low to high ankle sprain, so that sucks. As I mentioned, Darnell Mooney was removed from Sunday's game against Denver with a hamstring injury and came into the contest dealing with a Achilles issue. So some may say, and I think this is true, that maybe that's why he got a hamstring injury, because he was kind of favoring that, maybe just being a little bit lighter, not trying to re-aggravate it, and boop, what pops up? Another one. So
yeah,
Puka Nakua.
Puka's good, and that's it, Doc. I don't really see.
That wasn't too crazy. I'm sorry. I keep forgetting that some maybe fantasy managers, especially in those deeper leagues, may have, Madison or Zamir White on the team. I know I did. I just dropped him like a bad habit. But yeah, pay attention, because some of these people that are going on buys are going to be dropping players that they hope that you don't notice. And I'll leave you with that. And thank you so much. So should I be expecting a check from Old School Media Group now, or congratulations, boys?
He's only sending over beer, and you don't drink, I heard. So sorry, Doc. Sorry about that.
Well, congratulations. You're welcome.
Thanks, Doc.
I think
for us.
I mean, that's why people are tuning in, because of the Doc.
Right. That's right. You're not wrong about that, Doc. Thank you so very much. And now, phony homies, it is time for the reason why you're here. It's about time to talk about waivers.
Oh, yeah, waiver time. That's right.
All right, phony homies, let's go ahead and get started with the waivers. Oh, my goodness. DL, I'll kick it off with quarterbacks.
Wait, hold on. We got some comments, because the Doc missed some. Funniest thing I've ever seen. Cool. Yes, but how will he? Okay, sorry. Oh, someone called him out about Kincaid. I mean, we talked about that. That was last week.
Correct. Yeah, a week ago.
So relax, DC 23-5. We did talk about it last week.
What about thanks?
Thanks for coming in. If this is your first time, though, we appreciate it, and thanks for the
DC.
question.
Appreciate you, DC. For
yeah, every week we talk about recent injuries, so we don't really go over.
All right, hater. All right, let's go ahead and kick it off with the waivers. We'll kick it off at quarterback.
Yeah.
First guy we're gonna go ahead and recommend, the guy we've been talking about all year, 45% rostered in, I can't believe it, in NFL.com leagues this week. Bo Nix. Now, people who have been listening to us know we've been recommending him for quite some time now. I believe it's since week 4. The guy's been a legitimate top 11 quarterback. And in some weeks, he's been top 6. So the guy's been killing. Nix is the first NFL rookie to post a completion percentage of 80+, 4 passing touchdowns, and 300+ passing yards in a game. So, DL, he's averaging 21.5 points. I think it's time to get him off this waiver wire and officially start Bo Nix. I don't think there's 9 QBs better to start right now in fantasy football than Bo Nix. I just don't believe it.
Yeah, someone who did actually pick him up. I was a little bit nervous. I don't know why. He keeps getting better and better every single week. And you may think what you want about Sean Payton, but the dude is honestly helping him. And especially I don't think he's like one of those okay, you can start him and never have to worry about pulling him out or grabbing somebody else. However, I mean, just taking a look, and we're going to be talking about this throughout our waivers tonight. Look at the rest of the year, right? So he gets a pretty awesome opponent this week. He's going against the Raiders, who give up the 8th most points to quarterbacks. Then he gets Cleveland week 13, so that might be a time where he pull him out.
Birdman hands.
Yeah, he's on the bye the 14th, but right when your playoff starts, he goes up against Indiana, which is the 10th most defense that gives up points to the quarterback. Then you have the Chargers, and then for your Super Bowl, for most leagues, you're going to be facing Cincinnati, who gives up the 4th most points to
Beautiful. I love the
quarterbacks.
breakdown. And
So
shout out to this week when he's playing. There's a few quarterbacks that are out this week. Josh Allen is out this week. Joe Burrow's gone this week. Kirk Cousins is out this week. A few of these guys are on buys. So perfect guy. If he's on your waiver wire, don't even
grab
think
him.
about it. Go grab him and
Grab
start
him. Yeah, because he's
21 and a
hot.
half points. Come on.
Yeah, not
33
only that,
last week, 40 in some weeks.
four fucking touchdowns last week, bro.
Yeah, dude.
Like I destroyed a team because I just threw him in there. So he's
and Sean Payne don't give a fuck. If they're up, Sean Payne's gonna keep fucking
hell yeah,
piling on. He don't give a fuck.
So the next guy we're going to talk about is Anthony Richardson. This guy makes me nervous because he's either hot or cold, but he's only rostered at 41%. This last week, he actually did really, really well, right? So I think he got 2 touchdown running. So I didn't really pass it. Although Josh Downs looked really good. They were like syncing up and ready to go. So he was actually QB4 this past week in week 11. But the next week they're going against the Lions, who, like, honestly, they're the team. It's weird. It's not weird. I'm happy for them, but I also hate them because they're in the Bears division. So they're going up against the Lions defense that have been a hard opponent on QBs. So, yeah, man, it's going to be one of those things where he's going to be airing out that ball and throwing it as much as he can. So get ready. He's someone he's streamable, but I'm going to say I'm nervous to start him. Yeah, that's what I'll put it on.
Really low floor, so he could give you 4 points or he could give you 30. I don't think there's an in-between. It's going to be crazy. I don't know. The Detroit Lions have a really good defense, and they're going to find a way to neutralize them. So, yeah.
It was one game. Richardson will tap out again in no time.
Yeah, probably. Sure. Probably will.
Good point, Brian.
Yeah. All right, Dale. Another guy that we're going to go ahead and mention to cap off the quarterback section of waivers is Drake May. Now, May's rostered in under 5% of fantasy leagues, with Nix and Richardson having a relatively high rostered rate, although still below our 50%. I thought I should provide at least one more option that's guaranteed, probably, to be available in most leagues. May's averaging 16.2 fantasy points per game since becoming a starter 6 weeks ago, putting him in high-end QB2, low-end QB1 territory. The rookie has been remarkably consistent, for nearly 12 points during that stretch. On a week with so many teams on a bye, we recommend Drake May.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't got much to say about.
That's nowhere. Let's move over to running backs.
Yeah.
What you got in Pittsburgh?
I got Jaylen Warren, who has been on our waivers for probably a good 3 weeks now. Excuse me. He's only rostered at 42%. There's potential, but it's one of those things, man. Like, he's only averaging about 9 points per game. So if you're losing by 9 points, he's your guy. So I'm not super high on him, but like this week, honestly, you're out with a lot of running backs. This would probably be your best one. He's a slam dunk pickup. There's still potential and value to be found. Only thing is, he hasn't scored a touchdown this season. So
yeah,
that's what I've been talking about.
From 20 to 20. Once they're into the 20, it'll be Najee Harris time. That's really it. And let's be real. Jaylen Warren's last 3 games, because, last 4 games, because he's been healthier for a few games, he had 12 touches against the Jets, 9 touches against the Giants, 14 touches 2 weeks ago against the Commanders, and 9 touches against the Ravens. Now, Najee, on the contrary, is averaging about 20 touches a game. So the lead back here is Najee. Jaylen Warren's really right now a change of pace back. And as long as they keep winning, it's Najee's show. So I like Jaylen Warren, but, not starting back for me, a flex guy.
Not to mention, they are going up against the Browns. And the Saints actually just blew them out of the water. The Saints actually did it for 214 yards on the ground, including 138 via Taysom Hill. More on him later. But anyways, Cleveland is allowing more than 6 yards per carry in the last 3 games. So Thursday night is shaping up to be a promising matchup. Ooh. Which is crazy though, because like the one thing that I would say is that, like, honestly, it's shocking to see that Cleveland's defense is going on. I got plug in my computer, so you can go on the next guy. Sorry.
All right, no problem at all. The next guy we're gonna go ahead and recommend is none other than Cam Akers. Now he's rostered in less than 12% of leagues. Now look, might be a little bit of a stretch here, but there isn't much on the running back waiver wire, as many of you guys can attest to. Akers has been averaging just 2.7 yards per carry in his last 2 games, but this is an opportunity league, and he got 10 carries in both games last week and the week before that. And this is all about opportunity. If you're giving a guy 10 touches, you're hoping that the guy can do something with those touches. Okay. And this upcoming week, believe it or not, I think he has a chance to be a little more productive. And if anything happens to Aaron Jones, Cam Akers, 15 plus touches, you can lock that up.
I'm glad you're talking about this, because now is the time to actually, you know what's crazy? 2024 is like the year of the old heads. When I mean old heads, I'm talking about running backs, right? Like
Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry's been healthy. Joe Mixon.
Oh my
definitely claimed the number 1 spot last night. Like the dude went off, and he continues to be great. James Conner, who is yet to complete a whole season, whole week 17. He's still doing well. Derrick Henry, obviously, we just kind of mentioned. Like, so these older running backs that honestly were considered like, oh, you don't need a running back. It's okay.
Fall off, yeah.
They're doing awesome. But it is becoming the playoffs, so I would definitely grab some of these backup guys. And I think, yeah, you're absolutely right. Cam Akers is a good grab, especially with Aaron Jones, who's had a good season.
Yeah.
Had a good season, but he's also injury prone as well, too. So moving on.
Bad for me, nothing crazy.
Yeah. This guy I'm really excited for. Rojo, as I call him. But
are you excited about anything with this team?
I mean, Roschon Johnson for those Chicago Bears.
I like the way to talk about them at all.
Yeah, no, we're in a happy space right now, and let's not go down that rabbit hole. Although with the new actually offensive coordinator, they're actually using Roschon Johnson pretty well, right?
Yeah.
I feel like he's 8% rostered. He's going to be touchdown dependent, right? But if you notice, they bring him in to just plow. He's one of those guys, a downhill running wrecking ball, especially with Herbert being traded away. This is a guy that like could get you a couple steals at that goal line. If you're really, really freaking hurting for running back, this would be a great guy. So, yeah, they're going up against the Vikings, which have been kind of sus when it comes to their defense, right? But they are pretty good against the run. Nonetheless, to wrap this up, I'm not going to go too deep. Yeah, he's going to get you probably a touchdown.
Maybe. He's definitely touchdown dependent, but I like your angle here. The thing that's important to note is 4 of his 10 carries on Sunday came in the red zone, so he's getting looks. Get a chance. You can expect at least 3 or 4 touches inside, the red zone, the 20-yard line, and maybe he can capitalize and get a touchdown for you, and you end up with 8 or 9 points from a guy that's available on the waiver wire. I don't know what else you could ask for when there's a bunch of nobodies out there.
Yeah, I mean,
speaking of
backups. It's all backups.
Yeah. Speaking of nobodies, let me give you a guy that I can't even believe we're gonna go ahead and recommend. Amir Abdullah.
Yes, from 2015, rookie. I drafted him that year.
I literally looked it up just to talk about how long ago.
I remember him.
Jesus. I was still in college. Amir Abdullah is less than 2% rostered. The journeyman leads all Raiders running backs in snaps over the past 2 games and could be in line for RB1 duties in Week 12, with Madison hurt with an ankle and Zamir White out with a quad, both left on this game with injuries, which leaves Abdullah as the only healthy running back. He only had 1 carry for a yard, but he did make 3 catches, including a 10-yard touchdown grab. I don't know how we feel about starting him against a good Denver defense, but again, if you have nothing at running back, he could do much worse. Go get Amir Abdullah.
Deep league option. That's the only suggestion I would go for, because the Vegas. And did you hear the coach when he was talking about Gardner and Minshew? Dude, I mean, that team, they're just like, yep, Gardner's going to be the quarterback for now. that was it. Like, not like, oh, we really believe in Gardner and like we're so happy. It's just like, yep, this is what we got. So if that's all you got, go ahead and fire him up. I mean, it's better than getting a 0. That's what I'll say. Put a little silver lining in all these guys. It's better than getting a 0 and having a chance to not get a 0. Because if you don't start anyone, you're definitely getting that 0, like Mike Williams.
True.
Speaking of wide receivers, we got 3 for you from the same team, and that would be the Cleveland Browns. We got Cedric Tillman, if he's still available, and he's 50% roster at this point. Jerry freaking Jeudy rostered at 34%. Holy shit. You know what I think is funny? You know, most quarterbacks, when they're in a tight spot and they don't see anything open, they usually just like throw it
away,
out of bounds or, like check off. But not Jameis Williams.
Winston, close.
Winston. I knew I fucked every time. I will get his name right eventually. Anyways, this dude is like, well, fuck it, and just throws it as far and as hard as he freaking can. And last week, Jerry Jeudy was the recipient to most of those passes. So love it. Even Elijah Moore got a tutty. So Elijah Moore is rostered at 0.5%. 0.5%. So obviously, we put them in order. You want to go with Cedric Tillman. Although there is argument that Jerry Jeudy could actually be the number 1 wide receiver. Either way, those are your top 2. But, hey, get a piece of this offense because Winston is just throwing it. He's slinging it, and he does not care. He's just like, yep, fuck it. Let's let it rip.
Yeah.
Grip it and rip it.
Cedric Tillman. I my preference of all these guys. The guy I'd rather have, the guy who is 50% rostered. Probably won't be in these articles anymore for us moving forward. Cedric Tillman looks like the guy. Big guy. Jameis loves big targets. That's who I would go with. The next guy we're going to go ahead and recommend, unfortunately, is a Green Bay Packer, a guy who played well against the Bears last week. His name is Christian Watson. Now, he is less than 35% rostered. You can see the Packers wide receivers rotate on who stars each week, which is freaking crazy as a fantasy manager who has, a few of these guys. I feel like I never picked
Unless you have Reed. Yeah,
I have
Reed. The only one where you're like, all right, we're good.
But even he's been up and down all season, which, sucks. Here's what I'll say. He has not posted a double-digit fantasy point game in consecutive weeks all year. Okay? But Watson did rack a career-high 150 receiving yards last week, the most by a Packers pass catcher in more than 3 years. The most yards in more than 3 years, which is crazy with the quarterback play that they have. He led all receivers with 24.5 air yards per target in Week 11, minimum of 4 targets. I don't love his matchup this week against the 49ers, but you could do much worse.
Bosa's injured.
Christian Watson. It's true. They'll have time.
Bosa's injured. The one thing I will say about this is that I will say that the Bears. Okay, I'm going to say this, and then I'm going to let it go. I set myself up knowing the Packers were going to win. I was like, they're going to win, whatever. And then my brother-in-law was like, let's go out and watch together at Brick House Tavern, which is an awesome place. Have you ever been in Brick House Tavern?
Yeah, once. They make their own beer, right?
Make their own beer, and they have these deviled eggs. And what they do is they deep fat fry the whites. So they bring that out so it's crispy, and then they put do you like deviled eggs?
No.
Sorry, I'm sorry. I don't mean to interrupt your conversation. Anyways,
no, I'm answering people here.
Oh, gotcha. So what I will say about this, and I'll let it go, is that the game sucked me back in. It sucked me back in because the Bears stayed with them, stayed right there. At one point we were ahead. We were getting the ball back in the second half, and you're like, okay. And
I don't want to talk about the Bears.
I did the worst thing that you could do. I started believing. I was like, oh, we're going to win. We got this. And then we got the single doink. However, our coach, Manny Flus, wrote the NFL and let them know that their defense was lined up a little over our center after the fact. So he's an idiot and should have ran the fucking ball and got a little bit closer so we didn't have to kick a 46-yard field goal. Okay. Rant over. We're going to go with our last wide receiver, Quentin Johnson, which I picked him up He's 14% roster. He did get another touchdown, right? The Chargers are actually starting to come alive, and they're starting to get their passing game going, right? You got Milad McConkley. Help me.
Malad. I'm gonna call him that.
Milad
Malad
McConkie.
But I'm gonna call him Malad. That's
Lad.
Malad.
Malad.
Malady. Malad.
Anyways, he's starting to come alive. So is Johnson, right? Yes, he's gonna be very touchdown dependent, right? He's a boomer bust guy if you want. But I'm excited, bro, because I almost started him over Hopkins, and I should have. I honestly should have started him over DeAndre Hopkins, which is crazy to think about. Anyways, the only bad thing up next for the Chargers is a date with the Ravens defense.
Good luck.
So I don't know. He's a little bit risky, but he may be like one of those guys that you just kind of stash if you can, because I know it's the bye week and there's quite a bit on there. Real quick, I'm just gonna look the Chargers rest of season schedule doesn't get easier though, if memory serves me right. So obviously this week they're going up against the Ravens, but then they get Atlanta, and Atlanta's got their ass kicked, so that's cool. And then you got week 16 against Denver, and then you got New England. So if you make it to the Super Bowl, he might be a really good kind of like sneaky stash flex spot. That's what I'll say about him. So just looking ahead, that's what I'd be looking at, especially this week. If, like, for me, my team, most of it has gone on buys except for by Apocalypse.
This Ravens defense is not as good as people think it is. It is the worst defense
against wide receivers.
Yes, it's like people shred that secondary. They shred it. And unfortunately, Quentin's only had 51 yards, more than 51 yards once this season, like you alluded to earlier. He might have a good game.
Might, but he's boomer bust. So don't be like, oh my gosh, he's got to be like just destroying teams, because he's getting the looks.
You suck.
Yeah. But he also has a little case of the drops. Just saying. There's been a couple times where he dropped, but hey, you never know. Maybe they're starting to gel. Like, I'm saying the Chargers are starting to look.
You know what? It's crazy what a good quarterback can do. Justin Herbert's legit. That's what it is. I'll give you this next one since he helped you out.
Geno Smith. Oh my gosh.
You're fucking so close.
Janu. God damn it. Fuck. I was trying to go fast. I was trying not to overthink it. Anyways, he's rostered at 29%. This dude is on fire, bro. I was shocked that he was actually on our waiver wire, which I get. Or our waivers, I should say, not our. Anyways. Which I shocked. I could kind of see why, because you got Tua, and like when he was out, like I'm not thinking Smith did so well. However, the days of Smith being an afterthought in Miami's offense appeared to be over, especially with Tyreek Hill. With opponents focusing on Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, right? So best man's open, he's right there. Plus, Tyreek is kind of dealing with his hand injury. Kind of shocked that he's like, no, I'm going to finish the season. If I was him, I'd be like, we're out. We're not going to make the playoffs. Like, let me go get this like taken care of and call it a day. Anyways, we're not talking about Tyreek because we're talking about the fantasy tight end number 3 in week 11 after making 6 grabs for a career high of 101 yards, 60 of them coming after the catch. So he catches it and goes, which is what you want, especially in fantasy.
Dude's a freak.
2 tutties, bro.
Dude's a freak.
It's awesome.
Like, the talent's always been there. He's been a guy that has been touted for a few years now as just an absolute freak athlete. If he can get the ball in his hands, just watch him run. Like, good luck. He's just a freak.
Dude, I'm dropping.
He's having some games.
I'm dropping Zach Ertz. I think I'm going to ride this guy all the way. The only thing is like...
Pause.
Huh?
Nothing.
Oh, I thought you said pause. I was like, what?
I did. You're going to ride him all the way. It's going to be, I think he'll be solid. I do.
But wait. But that's my question, though, because Miami's schedule. See, I'm all about looking ahead. Like, I don't give a shit. We're getting close. I feel like I'm going to make the playoffs, so now I'm in playoff. And they got a shitty schedule, bro. They got, after this, they got, let's see. They play Green Bay, but then they got the Jets, Houston, San Francisco. Fuck me saying it. So...
Well, I think the Jets are a tough team for tight ends, for sure.
Anyways, I mean, if you're on the bubble or the bump, the next 2 weeks could help
He's
you
out
get
there.
in there, and he's definitely one of those guys.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyways, moving on to our next
All right.
guy, which would be your boy. So you got him,
Taysom
right?
fucking Hill, baby. I
Fucking
don't have him in
douchebag.
your league, but I do have him in other leagues. I have,
Dude, I hate him. He vultures touchdowns
dude. That's what
from
he's. Man, you just gotta
Kamara.
know. You just gotta know it's
Fuck
gonna
you.
happen. Rostered to less than 20% leagues. Now, New Orleans is on a bye this week, which is a shame because he's a Swiss Army knife and he's fucking cooking. He went off against the Browns to the tune of a career high in rushing yards with 138 on seven carries, rushing for 3 touchdowns on 8 receptions and 10 targets. They used him like crazy. For the first time in his career, Hill gained 100 rushing yards and 50 receiving yards in a single game. He racked up 41 and a half fantasy points and 10 more than the next closest player at his position. He scored at least 16 points in 2 of his last 3 games and should be much more widely rostered. Yeah, it's
I
time
agree.
for Taysom Hill.
Yeah, I agree. I
Go
mean,
get him.
he is him, right? And you can kind of, especially for fantasy purposes, like you figure like a lot more people would have him rostered because you can start him, wherever, right? Going back, Timmy made this comment, which is absolutely true. Baltimore is a pass funnel. So if you don't know what that term is that basically you can throw all over them. So maybe fire up Quentin. Yeah, I agree. Taysom Hill, as much as I hate him just because I have Alvin Kamara, and that's literally why I passed on Alvin Kamara last year because I'm like, that fucking Taysom Hill, dude, every time. So he's back. So yeah, I would grab him, especially this week because maybe the guy who had him is gonna drop him. Watch when they drop him because a lot of people will do this. They'll drop him like right before waivers start going through, so it gets lost because you see all these transactions like I'm not checking that.
This isn't a bye week. We projected for 0 points. That's why.
Yeah, that's another reason why too. So people are gonna probably drop them in hopes that they can get them, next week. Also pay attention to like right before game starts. That's when a lot of people like to drop their guys sneakily because you're not paying attention and you're not gonna grab them to start. So just giving some insight, guys. We're gonna talk about and wrap it up with the tight ends with Will Dissly. Yeehaw!
Right, that's right.
Let's go, baby. He's on the Los Angeles Chargers, if you didn't know, and I wouldn't be shocked if you did or didn't. He's only rostered at 3%. Dissly, known as a blocking tight end, is breaking out in year 7. Great, awesome. He's averaging about 10.8 points per game since week 7. So we've been talking about tight ends all year long. We've been talking about how obviously it's a wasteland. So this is a guy. He's like a borderline tight end 1.
Opportunity. Deal. How many targets is he averaging per game?
You would ask me that. 6.8? Oh, 6.6 targets.
That's right.
6.6 targets over
what more
that
could you ask
span.
for? On the waiver wire, 6.5 targets a game. Go get him. What? That's awesome.
Yeah, bro. He's definitely in line. He's definitely in line. Oh my gosh, I can't believe the doc forgot about Jake Ferguson getting injured. Wow, he really dropped the ball.
He wrote it in the script. It was there, but
Guess he can't read. Hook and phonics did not work for him. But yeah, some honorable mentions. Keep a reason why I'm bringing this up because I'm reading the script. And yeah, I would. The Chargers host the Ravens next week, who may be amongst the friendliest defenses because they are a pass funnel. So grab them. Good guy. Honorable mentions, I would say Luke Schoonmaker. Is going to be the next guy up because Jake Ferguson exited Monday night's game with a concussion, and they have a quick turnaround. So I don't see him actually getting in. So that might be a sneaky guy to add, especially on Dallas. They're going with Cooper Rush, their backup. And he was peppering the shit out of Ferguson. So that might be a really good grab, and a lot of people aren't paying attention to because they just feel like Dallas is dead. They've been dead for a while. Anyways. Want to talk about defenses?
Let's talk about them. I love defense. I'm from Chicago. First team we're going to go ahead and recommend is your boys, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They're less than 30%
Damn
roster.
right.
Now, for the Buccaneers, it's been a rough season for Todd Bowles' defense. The Bucs have allowed 31.3 points per game in their last 6 outings, which is why I was like, why is he recommending them last week as in DL? Why are you recommending them? But like DL alluded
Pay
to, they have a
attention.
golden opportunity to get right thanks to some highly favorable matchups in the next 3 weeks. It starts this week with the Giants, followed by the Panthers, and then the Raiders. Those are 3 of the league's bottom 8 scoring offenses, with the Giants the worst of them all, with Tommy DeVito throwing the ball. If you're
Tommy
streaming
Collins.
defenses, if you're streaming defenses, Tampa might be worth rostering for the next few weeks, just based on matchups, or until your defense comes off the bye. Go get the Tampa Bay defense.
And here's another thing I will say too: is Tampa's still playing for an actual playoff spot, right? They still are trying to get things right. There's rumors that Mike Evans is going to be back, hopefully this week, if not the following week. And like Tampa Bay is right there. They're on the cusp of making the actual playoffs. They have to win these games out. So the defense is going to step up. They're not going to loaf it. They're not going to send it in. That's why, as I mentioned last week, pay attention to these defenses going forward. I grabbed Tampa Bay as much as I could just because of the simple fact that, cool, I don't have to worry about that. They're going against easy opponents. It's going to help my playoff run that much better. So hopefully it helps yours as well, too. We're going to go ahead and flip over to the Washington Commanders that are only rostered at 15%. This is our last defense that we're going to recommend. The defense has obviously seen better days because they're only averaging about 4.5 games or points per game in the last 4 contests. The remedy for the Commanders might be an aimless offense that has scored only 1 touchdown in 2 games without Dak Prescott. So there you go. Yes, CD Lamb is still there, but not much else to strike fear into any defense during the Cooper Rush era. Washington hopes, wow, it's the last one. Hosts Dallas in Week 12 and then draws Tennessee, which continues to turn the ball over and failed to break 17 points with Will Levis at the helm. So another defense that you may want to just kind of like, especially if you're trying to get into the actual fantasy playoffs, which I know, JC, what defense do you have this week?
I have Tampa.
That's my boy.
Shout out to you.
Thanks, dude. Appreciate that. It's very nice of you.
For that, but shout out to you.
Whatever. At least you looked. You're like, oh shit, I got him. All right.
No, anyways. I did got him. Worked out. Yeah.
Yes.
That's it for today's show.
Wow.
For today's show, phony homies. It flew by. Somehow, some way, we get to the end. DL, let's remind the people, if they want to send us any start-sit questions, phony homies can send them to where?
Tweet FFG.
Real easy, real simple on X. I'm going to start calling it X.
I've been starting to call it X too.
Yeah, that's what we're going to call it. And if you want to send us those start-sit questions, DL, what hashtag should they use?
Ask us FFG.
And pretty simple, pretty easy. If they don't have X, they can send it to us via email. DL, where?
Ask us ffg@gmail.com.
And finally, if you want to call us directly, me, sliding my DMs over here on my phone. DL, what's the phone number they can call?
Area code 708-655-4508.
Thanks again, phony homies, for tuning in. For DL, I'm JC. We'll catch you guys on another fantastic episode of the Fake Football Guy Show. Peace.
Don't forget to check out Old School Media Network.
That's right.